Let's practice plotting ordered pairs, or points, on a coordinate plane together. For number 1, we have point A, which is located at 4, 2. To plot points, we're going to start at the origin first, which is located right here at the center. We're going to move 4 units to the right because it says positive 4, and then we're going to move 2 units up because it says positive 2. So just from that, we're going to go ahead and plot point A over in this quadrant 1 location and label it as A. Okay. For number 2, we have point B, which is going to be -6, 3. Again, we're going to start at the origin here, and then the -6 means we're going to move 6 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to move 3 units up afterwards. So 1, 2, 3, because it's a positive 3. So we're going to go ahead and put a point over here, over in quadrant 2, and this is going to be labeled as point B. For point C, we have 7, -5. So again, start at the origin here. The 7 means move 7 units to the right. So let's move 7 this way. And then that -5 is really telling us that we're going to move down 5 units. So let's move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is where point C is going to be located over in quadrant 4. So we can go ahead and put a dot here and call that point C. For number 4, we have point D, which is located at -3, 9. So we're going to start at the origin. The -3 means move to the left 3, and the positive 9 means we're going to move up 9 units. So we're going to be in quadrant 2. So we're going to go ahead and put a dot here, and that's going to be point D. For number 5, we have point E, which is located at 0, -5. We're going to go ahead and start at the origin. That 0 means don't move left and don't move right. The second number, meaning -5, is going to tell us that we're moving down 5 units. And so this is just going to be on the y-axis, or the negative y-axis. And so we're going to call this point E. Okay, so it's not technically located in a quadrant. For number 6, we have the point F, which is located at -3, +8. So again, start at the origin here. That -3 means that we move 3 units to the left, and then the positive 8 means we're going to move up 8 units. And so we can go ahead and plot this point, and this is going to be letter F. Okay. Moving on to number 7, we have this G, which is -4, 0. So the first number is -4, so it means you move to the left 4 units. The 0 just means don't move up and don't move down, so we end up on the negative part of the x-axis. So this is where G is going to be located. All right, let's see. For number 8, we have H, which is 4, 0. So let's go over to our axis, and let's go 4 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then don't move up and don't move down. So this is where H is going to be. It's on the positive x-axis. Okay. Moving on to, let's see, we have number 9, which is I, which is located at 0, 0. So that's actually right at the origin. We don't move left, we don't move right, we don't move up or down. So this is going to be where I is located, right on the origin. All right, for number 10, we have J, which is located at -4, -9. So to plot this J value, what we're going to do is move 4 units to the left because it says -4. That's -4, 4 to the left, and then we have to go -9, so that's 9 units down. So this is in quadrant 3, so this is going to be J, -4, -9. Okay. Moving on to K, this says we are going to be at 1.5, -3, so start at the origin. Now 1.5 really just means to the right 1.5 units, because again it's a positive 1.5, and then a -3 says move down 3 units. So we're going to end up over here in quadrant 4. So you should make sure you stay halfway between these boxes, and that's going to be K. All right, moving on, let's try L. L is going to be -2.25, or really that's -2.25. So start at the origin here. Let's go 1 box, 2 boxes, and then if we go a quarter, that's just a little bit further, right? It's 1/4 of a box. That's going to be -2.25. Then we're going to move up 7 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so we're going to go ahead and put a dot over here. Again, this is about a quarter of a box, and we're going to put the letter L. For number 13, we have the point M, which is located at 0, -7.75. So to plot this one, we start off with 0, meaning don't move left and don't move right. Then we're just going to move 7.25 boxes, or 7.75 boxes down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, and then 3/4 of a box. So 3/4 of the way down of the next box, and this is going to be L. Okay, so right on the negative y-axis there. For number 14, we have n, which is going to be 2.5. It's positive 2.5 comma negative 4. So start at the origin, move over 1, 2, and then half a box. So that's 2.5 boxes to the right because it's positive. And then it says negative 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 units down. So we're going to go ahead and put a dot. And what letter were we on? I think that we were on n. Yeah, so n. So we're going to go ahead and put an n over there. For number 15, let's see, we have negative 1 3/4, comma 5, and this is 0.0. So let's go over to the origin here. So we're moving 1 3/4 units to the left, so that's 1 unit. And then this is going to be 3/4 of a box, or 3/4 of a unit. And then we have to go up 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to go ahead and plot a point right over here. Again, make sure we have moved 1 3/4 box to the left and then 5 units up. So I'm going to call this point O. For number 16, we have point P, which is going to be negative half a unit and then 5 units. That's in the positive direction. So start at the origin, move half a unit to the left because it's negative, and they're going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So right over here in quadrant 2, pretty close to the y-axis, this is going to be point P. So go ahead and put a dot halfway between there and put the letter P. For number 17, we have Q, which is going to be 4.5 units to the right and then 3 units down. So start at the origin here. Let's move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a half. So that's positive 4.5 to the right. And then we're going to have to move 3 units down. So 1, 2, and 3. Right over here will be our next point. And that's going to be Q, and that's located in quadrant 4. Okay. For number 18, we have R, which is located at negative 5 3/4, comma negative 6.5. So we're going to start at the origin and move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3/4. So let's move over here to the left, and then it's down 6.5 units because it's negative 6.5. So let's go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a half a unit here. So this is going to be in the middle of this box, but a little closer to the left side. And this is going to be R. Again, we moved a bunch of units to the left, but we still had a fraction here, so make sure you don't go all the way because we had 3/4 of a box, and then we had to go down a few boxes, but we also had half a box left over. For number 19, we have S, which is going to be negative 1 3/4, comma 0. So we're going to start at the origin and move over 1 3/4 units, and then don't go up and don't go down because we just have 0. So we can go ahead and plot this point on the negative x-axis, and that's going to be point S. For number 20, we have point T, which is going to be 4, comma negative 2.5. So start at the origin, and we're going to move 4 units to the right. So we're going to end up where H is. But then the negative 2.5 says move down 2.5 units. So that's 2 and then a half. So this is going to be point T. So let's go ahead and put a dot here in quadrant 4 and then put a T. And that's where T is located. And then finally, for 21, we have point U, which is going to be positive 6.5, comma 0. So we're going to start at the origin here and move 6.5 units. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a half. And then we're not going to move up and we're not going to move down. We're just going to go ahead and stay along the x-axis because our second number was 0. Let's go ahead and put that and put the letter U. So there you have 21 different practice problems where we practice plotting ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. We start off with some integers, which is just negatives and positives, and then we also threw in some rational numbers like fractions and decimals where you had to plot points between the lines and estimate a little bit as well. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Please consider giving it a thumbs up if you did, and keep up the great work, and I'll see you in the next one.